Welcome to the Mountain Gardener with Ken Lane. Gardening in the mountains is different. Listen to Ken's tips, tricks, and garden shortcuts guaranteed to make your gardens more beautiful than ever this year. Now for better advice that works locally, welcome your host, Ken Lane.
If ever there was a time that you wanted to plant evergreens in your yard, so you folks new to the area, let's say you just came from California or you're just moving in from Chicago or wherever, Hawaii, they're from all over. So Prescott, Arizona, we're a place no one's from here. I mean, it's very rare you find another Prescottonian. We're from everywhere. And that's part of the reason that we're so cordial. I would say Northern Arizona, from Payson to Flag to Williams to, we're very cordial, open. We like because we're all from other places. And so gardening here is maybe different. And so here especially those valley areas where there's just nothing out there, you need some help. If you're in the Central Highlands where lots of trees are there, okay, yeah, the pressure's off. But most new home sites are now barren. You've got a blank slate. So you need to physically design and put those plants into your yard. This is a great time to be planting evergreens. Now, 20% of your entire landscape should be dedicated to evergreens, either shrubs or trees. It's 20% of your entire plants. If you don't have that, if you get that ratio off, all of a sudden you're going to feel pretty open, exposed here in another 3 weeks. And so it's a good time to spot those as the maples and the aspen, the ash, the locust start to lose their leaves. You go, oh, I can see the neighbors across the yard now. Oh, I do want something right there. So an Arizona ash or Arizona cypress goes in there. Good time to plant it. If you're planting now, the plants will continue to root through December. So they actually are actively rooting right now. That's why it's so good. And then the beauty with evergreens, especially evergreens, they only typically flush growth one time in the year. In the spring, they flush that new candle growth, and then that's it. Whatever you have, there's no more behind that. And so the more roots you have underneath that plant before that spring flush of new growth, the more growth you're going to have. And so the beauty of planting now is you get more growth. You have a bigger plant next spring because it's going to root out. Then it's going to root out some more in spring, and then it's going to flush out its new growth. So you're doubling down. You'll get way more candle growth, way more evergreen needles, foliage, conifer growth by planting now than it is in spring. And we have more choices. So we are bulking up right now because there's this big flush. I used to sell 2,000 cut Christmas trees. I mean, it was almost offensive to me as well. So it's just like we'd cut down trees like crazy, load them on trucks. People come in, we'd sell them with a couple lots here in Prescott. And we've migrated everyone over to living Christmas trees. So you take a living tree, it's got its roots, you put it out in the yard, you put it on the back patio, you bring it in the house, you put the presents underneath, and when you're done, you go plant it. It's a good way to go, actually. And so we sell way more of those now. And so we are bulking up to be ready for that. So the holidays, so you got to bring them in now so they acclimate, so they get used to our weather, and then you can plant them whenever you want. That, and we know we only get one shot at this. So garden centers up in the higher elevations, we have to guesstimate how many pine trees, spruce, firs, cypress, cedar, junipers, Arizona cypress. We have to guesstimate how many of those we're going to sell through winter, because once winter hits, you can't ship them. You got to acclimate and go into this. If you're truly a good gardener, you care about a garden center, you care about your customers, you're going to bring it in so that they are fully rooted and they're used to our environment. You're not bringing them in from some Southern California tropical climate. They're shocked up here. And then you wonder why they didn't do well in spring. Well, we bring them in so that they will do well in spring. So you can plant them. So we're forecasting now. So you've got a huge selection of every size, from holiday sizes to I want instantaneous trees. We just sold someone 4. They had to be 10-foot pine trees. I mean, you had a whole beautiful section. I'll take them all. I'll take those. And okay, wow, money's no object. I love it. I'll see if I can get you some more. So it's that kind of thing. Here's a couple things. So the folks that are new for more tropical climates, they don't know the names of some of these things. So they'll go, I want that one that looks like a Christmas tree. There's only one that does that. It's a Colorado spruce. They grow wild. They're on the ridge lines or on the mountain tops. They like the higher elevation. If you're planting them down in Cordes Junction and Dewey and Prescott Valley and Paulden, well, you might have to put them on a drip system to get them through that heat of summer. But there's some old ones in Prescott that I know have not been cared for like in 20 years, and they still look fantastic. They do get big. They're going to go easily. I mean, easily 60 feet tall, maybe bigger with some age. So they're a big tree. They're not for everyone, not for every yard. So we do make a variety of that that's a dwarf. It's called Fat Albert spruce. It looks exactly like a Colorado spruce, that beautiful kind of pyramid shape, but only grows 20 feet instead of 60 feet. So it's much, usually it tops out in the teens, somewhere in there. But still that same color, that same layered pattern. It looks like a Christmas tree, just lower care. That's the one you want for the smaller types of yards. Don't introduce a big old Colorado spruce and you've only on a 5th acre. It's gonna eventually all you're gonna have in the backyard is spruce tree. That's it. Everything else is like obliterated. In the front yard, all you're gonna see is spruce tree. Your house is gone in 5-7 years. So there's a place for certain plants. You've got Baccarat spruce. You've got there's if it's got a name, if it's a spruce, if it says the word spruce, it's related to Colorado, the native. And then we're playing with colors. So there's one that's called baby blue spruce. It's basically shorter than Colorado, but it's got a tighter layering pattern, an intense, like insane blue color, like silver color. It's not even blue. It's silver. I mean, it's gorgeous. So if you want a contrasting color, that's a great one. It's really pretty. It looks like a Christmas tree. The number one seller for privacy and windbreaks and cutting the headlights coming down the street into your front patio, your bedroom. The number one, Arizona cypress. It's a native, grows wild here. So many of the, especially the lower elevation, so 5,000 foot, maybe a little lower. A lot of those junipers you see, they're not junipers. They're Arizona cypress. And so the difference, way I tell, is if they've got a berry, it's a juniper. If they got a little tiny pine cone, a little smaller than a golf ball, it's an Arizona cypress. That's the difference. But it's fast growing. It's hardy. I mean, once you get up to size, you don't have to water it or care for it again. It goes by itself. Animals don't eat it. Generally, I did have an elk once, level one, big one, like a 20-footer, big bull elk. He's in a rut and he's showing off for the ladies. He came in with his antlers, this humongous elk, huge, comes walking down the driveway just in front of the barn, and he just takes his antlers and rips this thing a new one. I didn't eat it. He was just showing off. Fertilized it, got it back up to snuff, kind of got it going. Took a couple of years, but generally speaking, deer, javelina, rabbit, they're not going to bother Arizona cypress. So it's a good choice. Deodar cedar, that's one. We've got several of those in, some beautiful 15 gallons. That's the fastest growing of all the conifers. I want an evergreen tree that grows 3-4 feet a year. And I want a screening now, Deodar cedar. The negative, this is a monstrous tree. It takes a Colorado spruce and makes it look like a little baby. It'll grow up easily 80 feet. It outgrows its space. Just I tell folks 80 by 25. So if your backyard's only 25 feet wide, one tree's going to do you for the entire tree, and it won't take very long. And so it's too big. I don't introduce that one into my yard. It's just too big. I don't want that kind of maintenance. I don't want it up by the driveway. That's a big mistake I find newbies make. They grow fast, so you get a lot of tree for the money. The problem is they outgrow their space so fast that now you're next to a driveway or something, you're having to limit up so that you can get your car down the driveway. Now it looks like a Dr. Seuss tree. You should have gone with something smaller. So junipers should get a chance. We have native juniper forest. I mean, they just grow everywhere. They're going to adapt well. They get a bad rap because of the males. So the men of the juniper family are the ones that throw off all the pollen. That's the allergies. The females don't do that. They're the ones that put on the berries. So men put on the pollen. They're the allergy problems. Women put on the berries. They're cute. They're shapely. They just look better. So we only sell females here at the garden center. So you can have a hardy, evergreen, robust tree, nothing eats, takes our climate, our wind or snow or sun, or it takes everything, and it's going to live for decades, hundreds of years. And it's not going to have allergies. So junipers, we need to give them a chance too. They're just such good plants. All right, that's it for this segment. Be right back after this.
Autumn is the most beautiful time of the year in the mountains, and Waters Garden Center has the brightest trees.
We've collected 700 hardy trees, including maple, aspen, ash, and oak.
Each is ready to plant, so you can enjoy brilliant fall foliage in your yard.
Shop online at top10trees.com or visit us in Prescott.
Trees are brighter at Waters Garden Center in Prescott and online at top10trees.com.
We believe small business can win against impersonal box stores at Waters Garden Center. If you enjoy this show and would like to hear more, please subscribe to The Mountain Gardener wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And if you'd like even more garden tips, tricks, and helpful advice, please check out my website at watersgardencenter.com for classes, videos, and more, or my online garden center at top10plants.com. Throughout the week, Lisa and I can be found here at Waters Garden Center in Prescott.